My guest today is a natural born storyteller, theater kid, and filmmaker. This woman has one of the most magnetic personalities, and she is an absolute star. Without effort, she brings people together with her infectious spirit and fearless attitude, all for the sake of art. If you know her, even if you don't know her, you know that she lives for two things: Beyonce and the ability to be able to use her talents to help further representation and tell stories that live in radical truth. Please welcome my friend Kaylee Jade Warfield.
Hi.
Hi. You are determined. You are determined to
Determined.
get me today. Thank you so much for being here, Kaylee.
No, thank you so much. I'm so honored. I'm so thrilled. You're so fabulous. And I'm just happy to be going through all these intimate details
I'm
with you.
just saying. We got to get into it because I
Okay,
feel
let's
like
go.
the details, they're juicy. And they're
Juicy.
intimate,
Yes.
and they're everything that we need to know in order to get to know you and to support the things that you are working on, because that is super important to me. It is an honor and a pleasure. I have been thinking about you for a while, and I think you posted something. I have. And
Stop.
I
I'm
think you
gonna
posted
cry.
something the other day. Stop it, because I'm
I'm
in a crying
serious.
mood today.
No, me too. Me too. I blame Beyonce, but I'm so
I mean,
serious.
let's just get into it. So first
Okay,
things
let's go.
first, Beyonce descended upon Atlanta over the weekend. I had the pleasure of seeing her on Saturday with a friend, Kaylee, who has been on a quest, okay, on a serious mission to find Beyonce tickets
Mhm.
since everything dropped earlier in the year. Like she has
Yes.
been like, and when did you actually get your tickets?
I finally got my tickets on Friday.
See,
Friday for the Monday show.
like she cut it so freaking
So
close.
close.
I mean,
So
and
close.
not your fault, by the way.
No,
It was
no,
not
no,
your
no, no.
fault. But
No,
the
no, no.
stars weren't starring. The
Right.
alignment wasn't happening for whatever
Right.
reason. But guess what? It all came together in the end. All came together in the end. So I saw I saw Beyonce on Saturday, and Kaylee, God bless her soul, saw her last night. Do not know
Oh,
how she's vertical right now, because
I'm not.
the last thing I remember last night before going to bed, my last check of Instagram, Kaylee was covered in glitter, two
True.
ponytails,
True.
and crying a puddle.
True.
All
Yes. This is
facts.
all accurate. All
Yes.
accurate. Still
So
glitter in my roots. Still
yes,
glitter in my
yes,
roots.
yes.
My scalp hurts very bad. I
Oh,
took my hair out as soon as I got into the car.
it
Boots
was
came
so
off as
cute.
soon as I exited the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but all worth it.
It was all
All of
worth it.
it.
I mean, think
All
about
worth
what
it.
she did for us, okay? This was the
Yes.
least we could do.
We went to church. We went to
Oh my
church.
girl. Oh my God.
It was
So
a religious experience.
it was
Truly.
an experience for sure. So tell me, set the stage. Tell me about this for you. What was this like? Because this isn't the first time you've seen Beyonce,
No.
but definitely you are I, I I don't want to say, because I know this will get, people have feelings.
Hmm.
But, if there was an order to the chapter
Right.
of
Hmm.
the Renaissance chapter of things in the Atlanta area, I feel like you would have a role in the chapter. I don't know if you'd
This
be
is true.
president. Perhaps you'd be Madam Secretary,
I
but
think
you would
Madam
be on the
Secretary.
board, okay,
Absolutely. Yes.
of the Atlanta High.
Yes.
You're on the board of the Atlanta High. So this is a
Hmm.
serious situation for you. Tell me
Very.
how you prepped, how you decided upon the outfit,
Okay.
what the concert meant to you.
Okay. So to start, the reason, a lot of the Beehive fans,
Mm-hmm.
they were all buying tickets as soon as the tickets dropped.
Right.
That was a whole ordeal as far as getting
It
tickets,
really
having the
was.
codes, everything.
It
I
was.
was in hopes that through my parents and their divine connections, that they would be able to bring me to the concert. They would, in fact, so much that I told them that my birthday's in October. I said, this can be my birthday present and my Christmas present. I want nothing else. Send me there alone. I am good. This is all I want. The thing is that this was a no comp tour. So everybody's paying for it, doesn't matter who you are, you're paying for the tickets.
Yeah.
So we waited for a really long time, and then, I had a work schedule and I had other things that this past weekend that didn't allow me to go to the Friday show or the Saturday show. So the only option was Monday. And it was just, the clock was ticking. And my mom
was
desperate, and my mother and my father finally pulled the trigger, and boy, was it worth it. As far as the outfit, I know that her favorite color is pink, and I had this bright pink romper that was all laced up, and I was like, this is giving baddie, this is giving Beyonce, this is giving Pink Panther Beyonce. This is giving Check Up on It Beyonce. This is giving
it was
Renaissance.
giving Bootylicious too.
Bootylicious Beyonce.
Because it was Bootylicious pink. It definitely was.
Bootylicious bubblegum pink.
Yes.
All of it. All of it. And so I made a decision that I was only going to spend money on my shoes. So
Look at you.
Right. Smart. So I spent $100 through Amazon, these sparkly high heel, over the knee boots, cowboy boots, rhinestone.
They were really cute.
They were so cute. My feet hurt, but it was worth it, because we all suffer through the pain for the cause of beauty and fashion. So,
and Beyonce. It's okay.
Yes, it was so great. So anyway, me and my mom went. It was really, really lovely. The last Beyonce tour I went on, or I saw, was when we went to the On the Run tour, the first one. So that was years ago. I was in high school when I saw that. So then I went with my mom and my dad. They actually surprised me at work. I was working at a hair salon. They pulled up at 4:00, 5:00. They were scheming with the owner of the salon.
Oh my God.
And right. So the scene was set, and they pulled up and they're like, get in the car. And I was like, am I in trouble? Because, at that point I was getting in a lot of trouble. So I was like, what's going on? And they were like, we're going to the Beyonce concert. We packed your clothes. I'm changing in the car, doing my hair, doing my makeup. Best time ever. We had the craziest seats. Like, I'm watching her. I was like literally like a foot away watching her just walk from like the stage through the platform onto the next platform. Crazy. So the thing is that like the Lemonade tour, I wanted to go. I think I was in college, and I made the executive's decision. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to a music festival instead. There's always more Beyonce. But this album, this record is so brilliant. She's captivated so many audiences and
so many ages. Like, it's transcending generations,
transcending race, sex, no matter how you identify. It's transcending everything. It's built such a beautiful community. And like one of the main things she talks about at her show is how this moment is for the joy and to feel safe in your joy. And everybody felt safe. Everybody felt like we're relishing in their joy. It was such a beautiful moment. And oh my God, she's such an alien superstar. Like, this album is everything. The unicorn references, the alien references. I'm like, Beyonce, why are you doing this to me? The disco ball. I already had this. I already had the UFO tattoo. Like, why did you do this to me? Why did you do this to me? Why'd you do this to us? And thank you. And then as we're leaving the concert, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, this is act 1. What the
is
and act
see, I
2
feel like
and
people
3?
forgot that part. I feel like people forgot. They're sleeping.
They need to get together.
Because they're so thankful. And that's where we should be. We should be in this moment.
Right.
But let's not forget, you need to still have coins on reserve because this is not over.
I'm
This is
literally
not
about to
over.
I'm about to get 2 more credit cards because at this point,
Do not go into debt, okay?
Capital
That
One,
is
I'm
not what
coming for
Beyonce
you.
wants you to do. Beyonce does not want you to go into debt. I
WWBD,
promise.
what would she do? Okay, wait, funny story.
Yes.
So when the Homecoming album came out,
Yes.
I was driving from Atlanta back to my school in Milledgeville.
Mhm.
And, this album, that album, the live show, phenomenal. Beychella. Don't
Yeah.
even get me started. I stayed up until 6 a.m. watching it from West Coast to East Coast time.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Yes.
and the HBCU references,
Yes.
just she's everything.
That made me so tearful that I
Everything.
cried. The first time I saw it, I'm like,
I know. Like literally, there were times where I had to sit down last night and I just had to take it all in.
Yeah.
Because not only is she so musically gifted, her voice is
Impeccable.
that's 25 years of training and quality. She's not missing a note, and she is belting too. Like that can cause a lot of strain on your vocal cords. So to see how she has crafted it and mastered that so well to where she's not missing a beat, a moment, anything, and still slaying so hard. It's a 3-hour show.
It is.
How did y'all almost do? Every night.
How did y'all do last night on the mute?
What? Atlanta killed it. Atlanta
okay, thank you.
Killed it.
We did the first night. I went the second night and we did great.
I heard it was okay.
We did great. We did great.
Okay.
It's like off in the distance, maybe in the fifth section up top, somebody was really like, why is everybody so quiet?
No, oh my God, last night there was this girl posted on her story. There was a t-shirt that said mute and they had a folding chair.
I know that's right.
I was like, where can I buy one? Where can I buy one? Right. Drop the link right now. I know that's right.
No. Okay. But you know what we did? When we sat down, we identified a section leader. People we didn't know because it was a community. Everybody, like you didn't have to go with anybody. You just sit down with who you sit down with. We're all on the same page. I had the lady next to me and I was like, listen, you need to make sure your people are together. Ask them if they know. If they don't, we can explain it before things start. Like we don't need, when it comes, we'll give you the motion and that song, you can just be quiet. Don't say nothing until we all say something. Okay. But don't, And so I feel like that should have been the memo. Like there needs to be a section leader at each section to just say, okay, this is the time. And we can it can be like a chorus or choir director up front.
So somebody needs to get into it. Atlanta really did kill it though.
I feel like we did. Yeah.
I'm shocked too because it's Atlanta.
It was
time. Loud as hell.
We are, but they had a lot. We knew what was happening. We knew what was happening. We were ready. The girls were out there, and we didn't have time to play. Didn't have time. We did not have time.
Did not have time.
Oh my gosh. We could go on and on. So go ahead.
I have to tell you the story though.
Yes.
So
please do.
Okay. So back to college, Milledgeville. I'm driving. Yes. The Beychella album comes out. I'm listening to it. I've listened to it 1,000 times at this point. So I'm listening to it. I'm like weaving in and out of traffic, right? I'm going 60 in a 45. I'm speeding. And obviously not the best choice, but it's Beyonce. So anyway, I pull into my driveway. This minivan turns into the driveway and this guy gets out and he's like, ma'am, do you have any idea what you're doing? And it's an off-duty police officer. He calls another police officer there. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I was listening to Beyonce's album. She just dropped it. And they're like, well, is Beyonce going to get you out of jail? And I was like, she might. They didn't give me a ticket because they thought I was hilarious because I was so devoted. But I mean, listen, it's
Listen.
Beyonce, like, protect her at all costs. What would
Yeah.
Beyonce do? She would go hard in the paint. It's Sasha Fierce. I mean, she's not driving, she's certainly not
Yeah.
driving.
No.
But
Why would she? Why would
I got
she?
there faster. I cut off at least 20 minutes from my
Eh,
drive. So,
Gosh, I love that
yes.
story.
Yes. Thank
And
you.
I'm so glad you didn't get arrested.
Me too. Me
So glad you
too.
didn't. I don't know that you would make it in jail, Kaylee. Well, you might. I feel like you would entertain everyone and yeah.
I
Mhm.
feel, what's interesting
They
because I could
protect
see
you.
it going really either way. I
Mhm.
think that I could be like I could entertain people,
Yes.
and I think that I could, make them laugh, and then they'd probably be
Mhm.
like, oh, she's fine. She's
Yeah.
harmless. She's
Yeah.
harmless.
I
But
think
then,
that
like, I could be taken advantage of real quick. Slippery slope. Slippery slope. It could go bad real fast, real fast. So yeah.
Okay, well,
Yes.
as I mentioned during your intro, you
Yes.
are a writer and a filmmaker.
I
And
am.
if people haven't gathered this by now, whether just by listening to the conversation or by looking at us, because this episode is playing right now on Spotify, you're only, and I say only with love, you're only 26 years old. And I want to talk about your path and how you made it to this stage in the game
Yes.
at relatively such a young age, but we all know that that's relative because there are some people that
Right.
have just been in the game since,
True.
5 or 6. And 26 would be, old for them to have
Right.
been in such a career. So, let's talk about your path, how you got to this stage in the game, what it is that kind of led you to where you are
Mm.
today.
Mm. Well,
As a
so
writer, as a filmmaker,
yes,
as a director, all of the things.
yes. I love that question. I love telling people about my story. It's really interesting because I've gone through so many phases in my
Mhm.
my 26 years of life. And I came directly back to telling stories.
Mm.
Um, so as when I was younger, I was always performing in front of my parents. I was and their friends and extended family always performing. We had a staircase that kind of had like a platform kind of situation, and I'm doing the routines, I'm directing the girls. Of course, we're doing Beyonce Destiny's Child, we're
Of
doing all
course.
of it, we're giving solos, we're doing it, we're giving it to the gods,
Mhm.
and the gods is in my
Sure.
parents.
Sure.
And so nobody else. But yeah, that was a great time. And that brought me into performance art, where I started to dive into some theater, and I became a theater nerd, and I really loved that part of my life. But then I quickly lost it uh, as I entered into my teens.
Mhm.
I grew up in Alpharetta, Georgia. It's a very, very predominantly white, affluent area.
Mhm.
And
A
growing up
lot
as a
less melanin than Metro.
totally, um, I mean,
A lot
crazy,
less melanated than Metro Atlanta.
crazy, like, I just don't understand. If you're wearing Vineyard Vines, why? Like, why? Not to be judgmental, but why? Put it away. Anyway, so I had a really hard time because, I had an identity crisis. I was biracial.
Mhm.
I was trying to figure out where to sit in the cafeteria. You hear the
Yeah.
story all the time. Too black for the white people, too white for the black people. I was not comfortable in my
Mhm.
skin, not cozy
You
in my
weren't cozy
skin,
yet. Yeah.
not cozy. And it was really hard. And I went through so many shifts. I was like, I don't want to be a theater person because then people perceive me as this way. I really like pushed down on my talents because I was trying to fit in so hard. And I
Mm.
think a lot of teens go through that. Majority of teens do go through that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I hate that
Yeah.
took over me so much because it also took so much from me and from
Yeah.
that part of my life. um but then finally, like, as I you know, went through that identity crisis and then resurfaced and found myself again after battling depression and suicidal thoughts for a couple years. It was really hard at a point.
Mm-hmm.
I made it through and I just came back to storytelling because
Right.
I recognized that I had something important to say.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many stories to tell. There's so many ways to tell a story.
Yeah.
And I jumped immediately back into theater and I was directing shows, I was writing shows, and I realized I was like, this is what I want to go to college for.
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. And so I looked at a bunch of schools, but the school that I ended up going to was Georgia College in Milledgeville, Georgia. I got a scholarship for my freshman year as a theater major. I double majored with creative writing, and it was a great time. You know, I know that, you know, looking back on it, people are always shocked. They're like, I can't believe you stayed there for 4 years. But I do believe that when I got to college, that was where I truly started to flourish, like in every which way. Like I found my voice. I understood my Blackness. I was so proud of my Blackness. I was so proud of my culture. I was so proud of this life that I've been given. I just had so much pride and so much joy, and I loved the people that I was around, and I felt really creative there. And through that, I knew that filmmaking as a medium, you know, as a visual medium, was something that I was so curious by. And, you know, I graduated, I moved to Atlanta immediately. I worked my ass off to try to get on set for months, living with my parents. Love them. Post-college living with your parents, though,
it's different. It hits a lot different.
Real different. But you know, I saved money. That's what it's all about. So
you do what you got to do.
Do what you got to do. So yeah, so I worked my ass off to get on set. Cut to the year after I graduated, so fall of 2019. I got on set for Genius Aretha. Right. So I was the walkie PA, which is on the totem of assistant director work. That's, you know, that's an entry level job. And it was so much fun. I loved being on set. You know, people were like, oh, wow, like you must be new, because, you know, I come in and I have so much energy and I'm so excited. And I'm waking up I'm there on set at 5 a.m. At 5 a.m. It's like I've been up all day. People are like, how do you have so much energy? Why are you like this? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm so happy to be here.
But that's how it is, I think, in any area. If you are doing what you love, if you are living your purpose, doing what you're meant to do, oh my gosh, it takes so much less effort to have that high and to have that love and that passion. And it does ooze out of you, where people are like, how many cups of coffee has she already had? And you're like, none. But please, IV me right now.
No,
it's
literally.
fine, you know?
Time me up. Literally, though. Like, okay, SZA did an interview a while ago where she talked about there's a moment when you're so in your purpose that it's like this vortex of time where you're so connected to it that time literally stops. Everything stops. Like you're just so dialed in spiritually and like creatively that everything else ceases to exist. And that is how I feel when I get on set, especially when I'm in the position where I'm directing. That is where I feel the best, the absolute best, the strongest. I feel that literally it's the spirit and God, the universe is guiding me at that point. Like I'm literally just walking in it, you know.
It's where you're supposed to be.
So anyway, I was PAing, the pandemic hits. I'm like, you know, I hate it. It was not easy for anybody. So that stopped work. And then we started to get back to work slowly. I got on Spider-Man as a walkie PA. That was brutal for a lot of other reasons. But I made it through, and it was great to work on a Marvel movie. You know, that's a huge project. That's a big deal. I mean, I was on set with Zendaya. and Tom Holland and Jamie Foxx. I mean, it's what and Zendaya.
A minute.
Hey
Can we
twin.
talk about that for a minute?
Hey twin. I love her. I love her. She's so
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
she's a Virgo. I'm not a Virgo, but my moon's in Virgo.
Okay.
And
Thank you for
Beyonce is a Virgo too.
yeah. So okay, so here's the thing. I ask all of my guests to give me a little bit of a just a couple sentences. Like I'm gonna do the heavy lifting. I'm still gonna research. I'm still gonna do what I do. But I'm like, what do you want me to say about you when I intro you, right?
Right.
And so what you initially sent was something about your moon being in Virgo. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Right.
I have no idea. I'm not an astrology person. Like I know I'm a Leo, but
Mhm.
moons and shit, I don't know.
That's why I love you. It's because you're a
I
Leo.
don't know. I
Tracks.
appreciate it.
Yes.
I appreciate that that is you and you understand it.
Yes.
But if I don't understand it, I just can't. So you'll have to clue us in.
I will.
I mean, we
I
can,
can.
if you want to come back and do another episode all on astrology and moons and all the
Okay.
things, that's
Let
fine.
me clarify. I am no
Please.
professional. I'm an amateur professional, as you said.
You still know more
Right.
than me. So go.
All I'll say is this, right? So you've got your
Please.
sun sign. You've got your sun sign. My sun
Okay.
is Libra. Your sun is Leo. Whatever month you were born in, whatever
Okay,
that.
sure.
Right.
For
So
sure.
to find
Okay.
out about everything else, the intimate details, that is when you need to know the time you were born and where you were born. And then that gives you your astrological chart. So
Okay.
your moon is how you are internally. So all the traits of a Virgo is how I am internally, inside, how I perceive things, how I feel
Yes.
about things. And then your rising is how people see you externally, how you're seen from the outside. So the traits of a Capricorn, which is like domineering, all that kind of vibe. Right.
I gotta figure this out. Okay, so I'm gonna have you come back and just or tell me who to go to figure all this stuff out, and
I
then
got you.
I'll self-assess and see if that's accurate.
I got
because
you.
I have no idea.
I totally got you. Totally got you.
Okay, you got me.
I got you.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Because you were speaking a whole nother language to me, and I have no idea. But it's cute though. It's real cute.
Okay,
it's
good.
real cute.
I've got to say, it's definitely like a Gen Z millennial thing. Like I mean, it was always around, right? Like astrology was always a thing, but I feel like it's become even more exploited and talked about now, especially with media. You know, with like Instagram and TikToks, everybody loves to talk about the zodiac signs, especially like, you know, for the girls who get it, they want to talk about zodiac signs.
Appreciate
They want to know.
it when you send like, okay, here's what's happening today. Your moon is doing this. This is
Yes.
this. This is what this means on this day. Okay, give me the literature. I'll read it. I'll see if it applies. I posted something Sunday that was profound and exactly what I needed in that moment.
Right.
But I still don't understand where my moon is, what's rising, what's falling, what's in retrograde. I don't know. I just wake up and I thank the Lord every day for my blessing.
I do as well.
So
praise.
That's where yes. Praise be.
Praise be.
So let me ask this. How did you, with all of that, with everything that you did, kind of even in high school, transitioning to college, it sounds like there was this big time period you spoke about where there was a lot of fear, depression, anxiety. And I think that for most of us as teenagers, like when we're in the thick of it, our high school years, middle school, high school years can feel very, very miserable. And like you look outward and you see all of these people whom you feel like are having this wonderful experience.
Right.
And you feel so isolated that like, wow, I'm not as popular or as cool or as liked or as whatever.
You're preaching.
To that's what you see. But then you get to be an adult on the other side of things and you realize everybody was just as miserable as you were, but had different ways of masking that.
Yes.
Yeah. So what advice or what would you tell your younger self at this point that would have gotten through to her. Because I imagine your parents, other people that loved you, other friends might have said, when you were going through those darker times, might have said things to you, but it just did not
No,
resonate. You
no.
didn't, they couldn't get, so knowing you, knowing who you are, and I imagine that people out there listening maybe have someone that they love that may be going through the same thing. What would have gotten to you, do you think, at that time to let you know, man, you are so amazing, you're talented, it's okay if you're freakishly weird, like we all are. Just keep
Oh,
going and keep doing the things that you love. What did you need
right.
to hear in those moments?
That's a good one. That's a really good one. I don't know, because it's like everything you said is what definitely resonated with me. But I think like I think really what saved me was going to college.
Mm,
Getting out of the town where I grew up
mhm,
to see what the world had to offer,
mhm,
and finally having autonomy to hang out with people you want to hang out with, do the things
mhm.
that you want to do, living in your truth, living in your power.
Yeah.
That all came with college because of that
Mhm.
freedom that also
Yeah.
comes with it.
I feel like
So I
sometimes,
go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, like, I tell, I have a god sister who's 17, and she goes through hard times every now and then, but I just tell her, I'm like, just wait till you go to college. It gets so much better. So much better. High
Mhm.
school is just baloney. It's just a bunch of baloney.
A
Nobody
fried
knows what they're
bologna
doing.
sandwich.
They're all fried bologna sandwich, mayo and bologna. That's it. But like, it's just, it gets so much better because there's so much more. And high school's so small. It's
Yeah.
such a small world than
Yeah.
what the rest of the world has. It's just
Yeah.
high school. It's really not important. What's important are your grades. Focus on your grades. Focus on the things that interest you. Everybody else, fuck off fully.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish that I would have, if there was
It
something
sounds
I
like
could tell
that's what
my,
you had. That's the message you needed to hear. That right
I
there.
needed
Yeah.
to hear that fuck everybody else. Fuck all of them. For real. Because like
Yeah.
when I graduated, I walked off that stage, got my diploma, walked off the stage, immediately unfollowed everybody on my Instagram. Immediately. I was like, I want nothing to do with this life. I want nothing to
Yeah.
do with it. I, I wasted so much time trying to fit in and
Mhm.
trying to be somebody that I absolutely was not, and getting
Yeah.
bullied for the person who that I was naturally, because people saw it as,
Mhm.
too loud, too flamboyant, too outspoken, too opinionated, too bold. I was called too far Warfield, which is fair. Just fair. It's fair. I did take things too far sometimes, but if you really think about it, that was me being an entertainer and
Yeah.
basically auditioning for SNL,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was my audition. So I I I wasted so much time, trying to cater
Mhm.
to everybody else rather than catering to the things that interested me. And
Mhm.
I had such tunnel vision on trying to fit in that I didn't realize that, those 4 years are so pivotal to set
Right.
up your future. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be? Because you're just so caught up with just your peers and that
Yeah.
social setting.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
brutal and it
Yeah.
sucks because people, that's what kids think, but it's
Yeah.
not real. It's real to them,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course,
Of course.
but it gets so much better.
It
I'm
does get
so
better.
happy that I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
so
Right.
grateful that I'm still here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. So,
Yes.
I guess one of the things that I heard in everything that you said, in addition to, it getting better and that it's, you just have to get over the hump of high school. Um, the thing that makes you who you are, was that thing that you were trying to dim or dumb
Mhm.
down or hide or whatever. And I think that in high school or lower grades before we get to our place of college or whatever that is after you graduate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're trying so hard to fit in that we don't understand that our uniqueness is the very thing that will elevate us, right?
Unique. I'm sorry, it was coming. It was
It's just gonna
coming.
come back. It's
It's gonna come.
all coming back to Beyonce. Always.
Literally,
It's always gonna come back. Yes.
literally. Like,
It is the
oh,
only thing. So like we try not to be that thing that we stuff that down, right? But then once we get to college, that's when that uniqueness is celebrated. It's just like, oh, this is actually a good thing. This is cool. This is what separates me from everybody, but
right,
not isolates me from
right,
everybody.
right.
Yeah, our uniqueness caused us to feel very isolated as we were younger. Whereas as we get older, it's the thing that like people gravitate towards.
Right.
And so far out work, like, yes, you are, hon. Facts. All day. All day. But I think that that's why people are drawn to you too.
Yeah,
Is because rather than holding that thing in and worrying about what it's going to sound like when it comes out, it just falls out of your mouth.
it's true.
And it's just like, well, here it
For better or for worse.
is. Right.
What are you
So
gonna do? What are
I
you gonna
so
do?
appreciate that about you. And I'm so
Thank
glad
you.
that you figured that out, because some people don't get the opportunity to figure that out,
Me
right? I'm
too.
so glad that
Yeah.
you were able to figure that out about yourself and start to embrace those things that make you uniquely weird
Mm-hmm.
and also uniquely beautiful
Oh, thank you.
as well. So
Love you.
so I want to talk about something else, and this was
Okay.
like the primary reason why I wanted to have you on.
Right.
You have a new project,
I do.
which is kind of an old project,
Right.
uh, called Wake Up, which currently you're running a GoFundMe for. Let's
I
talk about
am.
Wake Up and kind of how it started, because this has actually been something that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was birthed while you were still in high school. Is that correct?
College. College.
College. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about Wake Up. Tell us what it was, what it is
Mm-hmm.
today, and
Mm-hmm.
then we can go into like where things stand right now and what we need to do to help
Okay.
support you.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm.
You look so good, by the way. I just have to
I
tell you.
try.
You look really
I too
good.
bathed today.
You,
know,
you look good.
I look clean.
Unique.
Okay.
You look
I'm the
great.
bar.
You look. I'm the bar. Love
Yes,
it.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Wake up.
So in college, degree in theater and creative writing, my senior thesis, I decided to do a solo performance. And so I wrote and directed this show that was based around um, my my life's biggest perplexion and my ultimate kryptonite, which is waking up. Like literally. I actually currently have a shot clock that looks like, it looks like one of those ankle bracelets. It's like, it looks like an ankle
Yeah.
bracelet, but it has like a shocker in it. So it zaps me awake. And it worked for like a month, but now it doesn't really work anymore because I've
So it's
gotten
like a
adjusted.
bark collar that you would put on a dog.
That is correct. Yes.
And where do you put this?
I put it on my ankle or I put it on my wrist, but the ankle's kind of the best because it shocks it through my leg and it kind of travels up my hand. The thing is that, okay, so.
This is inappropriate. Okay. All right. All right. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have hello, my name is Kaylee Warfield and I am a sleep addict. So
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi. Thank you. So I just love sleeping and I sleep so hard. I sleep so hard. It was a huge problem. My entire childhood and my teens especially was brutal. I mean, it was
Well, here's the
so
thing. In your teens, you had what sounded like, based on what you said, a lot of depression,
depression,
too,
right?
right? And
Right.
depression and sleep, honey,
Right. They go hand in hand.
they go really well together.
Right. So it's funny, my therapist is like, that is your coping
Mhm.
mechanism is sleep. It's where you feel the
Mhm.
safest and it's where you
Yeah.
feel. And I'm like, damn, she right.
Yeah.
She right.
Yeah,
Shout out to my
because it's an
therapist.
escape. It's such an
It
escape.
is.
You
It
get to turn things
is.
off.
It
Your brain
is.
gets to finally move away from that thing that is worrying that because
Yes.
wake
Yes.
for you is probably a lot of anxiety
Yes.
and worry and stress.
Yes.
The depression comes in and says, we need to figure out a way to turn all of that off. And the
Yes.
best way to turn your brain off is to go to sleep. And you're like, sign me up for that shit. I
Sign me
can't
up.
do this
Sign me
anymore.
up. Sign me up.
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. So I get that. Yeah.
Yes. It was, yes. Like so I've always had this issue.
Mhm.
My parents can tell you many stories. You know, like I was younger, they walked into my bedroom once and I was trying to climb out of a window in my sleep. I talk in my sleep very heavily.
Oh my God.
I move around a lot. In my teen years when I was in high school, I slept so heavy and just did not want to get out of bed. My dad was literally, he would turn on the lights, he'd take the covers off of me. He would, if that didn't wake me up, then he'd come back in. He would pull me out of the bed. I'd get back into bed.
Oh,
And then he'd come in the third time, throw water on me. I'd grab a towel, put it on my face, and go back to sleep.
oh my
It was, no, it was a daily, it was war. It was
Oh my
war all
God.
the time. And in college, I was a great student, but the only reason why I was ever getting close to failing a class or had low grades was because of absences, because I was sleeping through classes, because I could not wake up. And the thing is that I I exhaust so much. I put out so much energy when I'm present, when I'm awake, that
Yes,
when I
you
go
do.
to bed, I sleep so heavy, you
You
know?
got to replenish
I've
that.
got to
Yeah.
replenish all of that. And then my hours, my hours I run on vampire time. So
Mhm.
mornings, hell to the hell no. Like absolutely not. You won't catch me. I love breakfast, but I love brunch better. So
Yes.
yeah, like
Amen.
amen. So I'm
Mhm.
just not a morning person. Honestly, that's like the worst part of working in the film industry is those
Yes.
crazy call times.
Yeah.
But of course, like, once I'm awake, I'm fine. It's the
Yeah. Yeah.
process of getting awake that is so problematic. And then when you peel apart all those layers, like the physical parts of why me having these sleeping problems,
Mhm.
um, it's also because these worlds that I experience when I'm asleep are so vivid. They're so beautiful. I mean, literally, they're movies in my head. Every
Mhm.
single night, they're movies. And I remember my dreams. I remember all of my dreams. And that's really rare to remember your dreams. And
Mhm.
it's rare to like be able to, there's this thing called when you can control your dreams. I forget what it's called. Anyway, lucid dreaming. It's when you can manifest an idea or a thought and fall asleep and that dream actually occurs. What you manifested actually happens. It's
Mhm.
like you're directing a movie or a show, like I've like manifested having a dream about me and a guy, and an amazing
Mhm.
romantic love story. And then it happens, but it doesn't happen in real life. So anyway, my dreams, they're just so magnificent. It's at that point, it's like, why wake up? But that's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
living. That's
No,
not
it's
living
not.
at all. You can't be
No.
asleep
Nope.
through life. No.
So
So,
how does that all lead you to wake up?
right. So, wake up, um, as the one act show
Mhm.
was me going back and forth between these worlds of my reality, which was me asking all these questions about life and about dreams and about the future and about my passion and my purpose and finding myself and how to do that and what is love and why, what is it like to be a Black woman and so on. And then I would shift into these dream sequences that were very poetic and lyrical and
Mhm.
abstract. So that was 45 minutes, 50 minutes on stage. Now for about 4 years, so that was 2019. For about 4 years
Mhm.
now, I've been developing this idea of how can I put this all into a short film, which is
Yeah.
challenging because it's
Yeah.
completely different media.
Yeah.
You know, it's not on
Yeah.
stage, it's not theatrical, it is on screen. You're telling the
Mhm.
story visually. So it took it took me a long time to figure out the structure, and
Yeah.
I've made a lot of cuts. I had to, but I kept um
The
the exact
bones
same
of it.
plot,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was, you know, finding this balance between dreams and reality. And in order to do so, you have to overcome your fear. You have to,
Yeah.
because your
Yeah.
fear is the only thing that's holding you back.
That's
And
it.
and I know that that's such a universal message for any human, but
Yeah.
specifically artists. It is a
Yeah.
huge thing for artists, and
It's
this
a huge
character in the short,
roadblock.
right, a huge roadblock. And every artist is going to continuously face that, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just one magical roadblock and then that's it for the rest of your life and you're coasting.
Right.
It's You're going to continue to go through it, and I recognize that. Um
Oh, I
and you know,
struggle with that every day. I posted
every
something earlier
day.
today about like just a message that I heard, and it's just like, oh my God. Like, right, probably about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour before
Mhm.
you and I came on,
Mhm.
I was just like, oh my gosh, fear is what's holding this particular thing
Yes.
back. And so I told
Everything.
that resonates with me completely. I get it
Yeah.
for
Yes,
sure.
so there's a beautiful poem that is in the short film, also in the stage play, called Fear is a Lie.
Yeah.
And so that is essentially it's part of what the short film is kind of
Hmm.
based around.
Hmm.
Um and this character goes through so many different realms of, you know, her reality and her dreams. We actually never really know where she is in the current time. And throughout the entire short film, we're going back and forth through time as well. So the order of events is it's not the order of
Hmm.
events is, you know, what is the right word for, how do I say this? It's out of order. The order of events is out of order.
It's out of order.
Anywho,
Just like
yeah.
what you said, you had a quote somewhere, like when I was doing my research over the last day or so. It was about that. Fear is a
Mm,
lie, but and it's true. That's what it
mm,
was. Fear is a lie
mhm,
and it's true. Right?
mhm, mhm.
So and that yeah.
It's
It's true.
it's it's just
It's a
true.
lie and
It's
it's
just
true.
true. It's true.
It's true.
So the first line is fear's a lie. Without the taste of fear in your mouth, you would never know the taste of success.
Yeah.
Never.
Never.
So I just it resonates so deeply with me, and that was a poem I wrote back when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But it's something that I've kept really close
Yeah.
because I just constantly go through these moments, especially like filmmaking, which, you know, a lot of people consider it, you know, the pipeline dream.
Mhm.
And I understand that this is a very hard industry to be
It
in.
is.
It is tough, but there is nothing else I could do or want to do
Right.
than this. Like,
Yeah.
I know this is my purpose. I got really lucky to know what my purpose was early on, you know, to where I
Mhm.
knew exactly where I needed to go and what I needed to be experimenting in, and, you know, find my voice and to find my artist.
Mhm.
um so yeah, it's gonna be amazing. It's 15-16 minutes. It's going to be a sci-fi, fantasy, drama, and it's going to be giving. It's going to be beautiful. There's going to be incredible visuals. My whole entire team is
Mhm.
females, and I love that story because
Yeah.
girls, they run the
Run
world,
the world.
girls. So
I
I'm really
love it.
excited about that. My DP and
Yeah.
I speak the same language, so
Sweet.
we are very excited about what how we're going to be portraying all these scenes and these moments on
Mhm.
screen.
Oh,
And
I can't
I
wait
think
to
it's
see
just
it.
gonna be not only like an amazing watch, but it's
Mhm.
going to be so deep and powerful for people young people, you know, millennials, or older people who are in their 30s, aka their 20s now, because that's what it
Mhm.
is actually. Your 30s are your
Yeah.
20s. And so everything's reverting back 10 years. So you're actually 10 years younger.
Oh, I love
Anywho,
that for me.
you love
Yeah.
that for you. Love that
I
girl.
love that
Love
for
that
me.
girl. So anyway, yeah, it's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait for people to see it. I can't wait to shoot it. I just
Yeah.
finished shot listing with my DP like a couple weeks ago, so we're already in there. You know,
That's so
I'm a
cool.
very organized person, and I had to make sure that I had the shot list done before we even started to get everything in line for the production. Just so obviously, that's how you get your ducks in a row. And
Yeah.
I've seen firsthand directors who don't have shot lists, and I don't want that to be me.
Right. I
Don't
think,
want that to be me.
another important thing to kind of note for those of you that listened a couple episodes back, we had Alicia Daniels, who is an AD, member of the Directors Guild Association, and she
Mhm.
talked to us about going through the DGA's trainee program and
Mhm.
how she worked a lot of different jobs before becoming a UPM
Right.
and what all of that meant. And just in hearing you talk about what you're doing right now, like I'm hoping that people that are interested in film and television, or maybe even another industry, understand that there is a lot of value in
Mm.
coming in at a lower level and just kind of learning what everyone does. You
Truly,
came in
truly.
as a PA and
Right.
we're excited about
Right.
being a PA. And a lot of
Right.
people say, well, I don't want to be a PA. I want to be a
Right.
writer. I want to be a director. I want to
Right.
be a producer. I want to be
Right.
an actor. I want to do this. Sometimes figuring out what everyone does, knowing how the sausage is made is
Literally.
so important.
So
Yeah, getting
important.
your hands in there and
Right.
grinding it up,
Right.
figuring it out, seasoning that shit. Like this is how you understand what it's like,
Season Lowry
what you
salt,
need to be
baby.
the director. Like
For
you
real.
couldn't be where you are, even though this is where you're supposed to be.
Right.
There were things you needed to learn and actually have your hands
Right.
in order to get to this place. And that
Right.
is, I mean, that is just amazing. Well, where are things you've done the shot list, it's written. I'm sure there's always tweaks every time you look at
Of
probably what you
course.
have, you tweak things and go back.
Yeah.
What type of support do you need at this point to get this thing over the hump? What needs to
Right.
be done?
So we have a GoFundMe, and we are looking to shoot the project with 20,000. That is our budget. Right now, we've got about 4,500 in the GoFundMe, so we are trying our hardest to crowdfund.
Yeah.
And that it's got its ups and its downs. It's all about the flow,
Yeah.
which I understand, and I'm beyond grateful for what we have. I'm so
Of course.
grateful. And actually, this Sunday at Buteco in Grant Park, which is a Brazilian bar, also a bar that I bartend at. But anyway, I won't be bartending this Sunday. I'll be hanging out with the crowd. But we're
Okay.
having an amazing all white party, end of summer bash, extravaganza, talent show to celebrate the short film and to fundraise. So a portion of the profits that are made at the bar and through the food will go towards the short film. Also, there will be some special performances. We have a DJ that's going to be performing. Her name's Cassidy Starr. Also, my girlfriend, love her.
Wow.
And yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I've invited all my friends and all my family, and anybody can come. Literally share with your peoples, pull up, even
Yeah.
if you don't know anybody. I promise you're gonna know them by the end of the night. I
Yeah.
promise you. And it's happy hour time, so it's from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock in
Oh, I
Grant
love
Park, Buteco. Be there or be square.
it.
WWBD. What would Beyonce do?
Beyonce would go.
She would go.
Beyonce would go.
She would
And she'd
absolutely go.
slay.
She would
She'd
slay.
slay.
We're
She
gonna
would
be
slay.
playing Beyonce probably the entire time. So I mean,
So there you go.
there you go.
Because I mean, we're not over it. We're
We're
not over it.
not.
So
We're not over
so
it.
if you're out there listening, let's do this.
Yes.
I'm going to be putting a link in the
Okay.
show notes to help support the project.
Cool.
I'm also, if you're here in Atlanta, if you plan on flying in, or if you just want to support Miss Kaylee Jade, she's doing this film raiser this Sunday at Buteco in Grant Park. Again, I we'll put that link in in the show notes as well, so that people have that
Perfect.
information and can just, pull up.
Pull
They can
up.
just pull up.
Just pull
Pull
up,
up
bro. Just
with
pull
your
up.
pocketbook. And if you can't make it, like I said, we'll have the GoFundMe link down in the show notes so that you can donate whatever you can, honey,
Great.
whatever you can. $5,
Yes.
$10,
So just
100,000. Just do.
literally, just do
Yeah.
it. Just do
Just
it.
do.
Just get into it. And also, gotta say, Buteco, their tacos are fire. They're
I
great.
haven't had it yet, and I have to get over there for the tacos.
Listen,
because I'm a taco girl.
good. And let me tell
Raw.
you,
I'm a taco raw.
Right, no, literally. And the thing is that these tacos are $4. They're cheap tacos, and they're so good.
So let's talk about this taco situation.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Tacos and margaritas. I need them both, right?
We've got all of it, and my first cocktail will be the Black Cat Espresso Martini, because Buteco has the best espresso martini in all of Atlanta, I swear. And I'm not biased. I've tried a lot of espresso martinis, but this espresso martini,
a martini.
Let's
do it.
Get into
Let's
it.
do it.
It's really,
Let's
really
do
good.
it.
I
No,
typically do it with mezcal because I like the smokiness with the espresso. But this is like real espresso. Like none of that cream de cacao bullshit. None of that Bailey's. None of that. None of that. None of it.
Okay.
This
All
is
right.
real. The real
I'm
deal,
down.
Holyfield.
I'm down like 4 claps. Let's do this. Tacos, margaritas, and martinis.
A special performance by yours truly, Kaylee Jade. What does Beyonce do? Oh, she goes like this.
I can't do it because my hair is in the way, but yes.
You can do it over your hair.
Yeah.
But yes, so special performance by moi. I'll probably I know I'm gonna do like a little stage reading, just a tiny one, to show the crowd what they're fundraising for. Gotta give them
what their money's going to.
Gotta give them a little
Gotta give them a little a little shimmy for the people. So yes, Kaylee, I cannot thank you enough for joining us today. And guys, if you want more info on Kaylee Jade Warfield, what did they call you in high school? Way too much Warfield. What is
Kaylee Too Far Warfield?
Too Far Warfield. Yeah, there we go. If you want some more information on Too Far Warfield,
yes,
want to attend the film raiser this weekend, or just want to donate to her GoFundMe, which is a great cause, wake up.
Wake up, man.
Just do it. And go follow her over on Instagram at KayleeJadeWarfield.com or at Kaylee Jade Warfield. I'm messing that all up.
It's okay.
Please follow her on Instagram at Kaylee Jade Warfield. You're doing the most, and it is distracting me. Too much, Warfield.
What would Beyonce do? What would she do, Dr. Tiff?
She'd do too much. She'd do too much. She would do too much, and it would be just enough.
Exactly.
She'd do too much, and it would be more than enough.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I adore you so much. I adore you. I miss you. By the way, I never meant to tell you. The reason why I know Dr. Tiff is because Dr. Tiff and I, my best job on set, I was a showrunner's assistant, and I met this gorgeous, gorgeous girl, this gorgeous, gorgeous woman, Queen King, actually, King, met her on set. She was the intimacy coordinator. Everything though.
Intimacy coordinator, sensitivity coordinator, mental health liaison,
all of it.
Yes,
and she was giving life.
Upcoming season, this upcoming season of Genius. So Kaylee mentioned that she worked on Genius, Aretha Franklin, which would have been was that 3?
3. Mm-hmm.
And so we worked together on season 4,
right?
Which I don't know. Do they have the date yet for that?
They don't, but it will definitely be coming out next year. I know for sure.
I'm so excited about it.
Me too.
Oh my gosh,
it's gonna be great.
Such a great experience.
Yes,
I was so happy. I had worked on a previous project with our UPM. And when we were still wrapping up that project, he's like, I don't have anything. I don't have any intimacy work. I don't have anything for you on this next project. But if something comes up, I'll let you know. And right before we started filming, they called and were like, listen, how about we have a little something that maybe you'll want to do. I don't know. Let's figure it out.
I mean,
and we did. And had I not done that, I would not have met you.
I know. The universe would be so crazy. The universe is so
like that because my son, is in retrograde and my moon is falling into my Libra.
Is your moon in Libra for real?
No idea.
Oh, okay, cool.
What that means.
We're gonna find out.
Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out. All right, guys, I'll be putting all the links in the show notes for her Instagram, also for the GoFundMe, also for the information for Buteco this weekend. We hope that you'll be able to access all of that and show up, pull up, donate, do what you need to do. Give me Girl Monday because this sounds like an amazing project for an amazing human being, an amazing human being. I also want to shout out. Hold on. I also want to shout out my producer, Radia Wilson, whom you may not know, keeps me motivated and balanced and really is the key to this whole freaking operation here at Intimate Details with Dr. She is. She has a fantastic podcast called Wild Card Wallflower that truly is so motivational and uplifting. She speaks from her heart, from her perspectives, and lets us in on her journey as she walks through life in Brooklyn and beyond. So if you're enjoying the content here on Intimate Details with Dr. Tip, please check out our producer, Radia Wilson's podcast, and I'll put a link to her podcast in the show notes as well. So now, before we go, I want to say thank you to all of you who have rocked with us. This is episode 19. I cannot believe it. Kaylee, you made 19, girl.
That's, listen, 9 is my lucky number, so I'm here for it.
Okay. Yeah. So when I started this podcast, I wanted to make sure that we got at least to episode 10 because there's this crazy statistic about most podcasts not making it past 10. And once you get to 10 episodes or 11, you're in the top percentage of podcasts because most people don't make it that far. So we are almost at 20, which is crazy to me. I cannot thank everyone enough. Thank you who's been tuning in, sharing the episodes, commenting, subscribing. We're growing. Slow and mighty. I love it. I know that I can't do this. I know that none of this is possible without you. So thank you, everybody that's been listening, sharing, subscribing, commenting, making sure that we continue to stay motivated and continue to have awesome guests like the one we had today, Miss Kaylee Jade Warfield. So with all of that, darling, we bid you adieu. And just want to say ciao. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dr. Tim.
You are welcome. You're welcome, girl.